Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hi,
back.
everyone.
Happy Thursday.
I think I was like, what day is today?
Yep, things just froze there for a second, but
Oh, no.
another episode of
We are in the rain.
Talking with Indie Comic Creators here tonight. We've got three incredible writers, incredibly creative minds joining us tonight. We've got Pat Shand, there's just so many things that you've done, but the biggest universe that you've been building up over the years, Destiny New York, which we're adding another tale to that collection with the ongoing Kickstarter campaign.
It's true.
Oh, my books are right over there. I don't know why I didn't grab them.
And currently releasing from Scout. Is it Azza or Azza the Barbed? Azza. I always.
How dare you, dude? Okay.
I flip flop how it is said in my head every time I read it. So I've been meaning to ask. There we go.
It's Azza. A's up, you know.
And then the parts of the creative team that brought us Metal Shark Bro. We've got the Word Bros, Bob and Kevin.
What's
up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going?
Welcome.
And also, Dust Pirates. We had one of you guys on last year for the Dust Pirates campaign, along with.
I think it was probably Kevin. I think I missed that one.
You missed that one. Caroline missed that one.
I was on vacation. I always.
No, I was there for one of them, but then I missed the other one that he was there for.
For some reason, all these things get scheduled during my vacations because I'm on vacation right now. It's so weird.
Because you don't put them in your calendar, my man.
I do. You know what, man? Now you just sound like my wife, Caroline. I'm not in the mood for that shit because I'm hearing it downstairs too.
No, it's okay because I also don't put things in my calendar.
So it's like, back off, lady. All right, just give me a break. I'm here, man. Like, what do you want from me?
He has to remind me at least once every few days before, like, hey, don't forget.
Tonight, their campaign that's going on right now, Get Lich or Die Trying.
You. And we're also a part of Pat's thing too with MMA. So this is like you get it's all
a dual campaign extravaganza right now over on
buddy.
Kickstarter.
The smorgasbord of creators that like working together.
Yeah, and Baltimore was kind enough to put you guys right across from each other.
We asked for it, dude. We asked for it.
Yeah,
that worked out really well.
It came through.
It was funny because Pat was taking a picture of his booth, and I thought he was taking a picture of me. So I was like, oh, hang on, let me do something funny. And he was like, yeah, okay. And didn't tell me he was taking a picture of his booth. So I was doing some weird pose. He's like, yeah, that was the booth, bro. You're not he totally
off in the corner.
He totally chumped me out.
And what's really funny is, the campaign page for Mixed Magical Martial Arts. I'm going to struggle to say
all
that.
Of the M's, 1A.
All night long.
Just MMA. That's all you got to do. Just throw in an extra one.
That's fair. Has this really nice picture of you guys together, but not together. I gotta show this.
Bring it out. This was
This launched before Baltimore.
Yeah, so this picture was taken when we met for the first time. Let's see where it is.
Oh, there it is.
Right there.
Yes.
That's actual footage of us together.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Pat, what you guys don't know is Kevin and I are hobbits, and Pat is a giant, and he just put us on his lap and was like, "Hey, take this picture with me." And we said, "Okay, sure."
It's true.
It's a very Hagrid Harry Potter situation going on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the thumbnail for tonight. I mean, we were all in that picture together. All five of us.
I think we were all at the same place at one time at one point.
Get out of here.
Yeah. That was.
I just was not here this year.
No, this was Pat. This is us this year, and then I chopped myself out of the four of us from last year, and made it work.
Yes, that's a last year me photo because I have lost hair and we have masks on. That's a last year photo.
Oh, Pat, you're muted.
Oh my bad. Yeah. Back. So yeah, you guys are masked up, and the two of us are not. So it's two conservatives and three Democrats over here. You know
what?
Right.
Are we the red wave? Is that what it is?
I heard it was more of a ripple.
I always get the colors mixed up. I forget which color's which. My wife makes fun of me because I forget which color's which because I'm a doofus.
And shout out to Lewis here in the chat for some help with collecting some of these Destiny New York cards.
Yeah, he got me a couple too.
Nice.
I gave some to some of my regulars at my shop who pick up your book because he gave me a couple, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Nice.
Oh, sick.
And I think I have some that may also need to still get to you, Caroline. He sent like a couple over, so they're getting there eventually when I send your birthday present. That's now past your birthday.
Uh-oh.
The birthday Christmas gift.
Right.
My birthday was November 5th.
Shout out to you guys here.
Oh, that's my bodyguard, Antoine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Why do you have a bodyguard?
He was at Baltimore. You met him.
Why don't you?
I mean, because I don't need a bodyguard. I mean, why would I need why do you need a bodyguard?
All those ravenous
neck,
man.
People are coming for the neck.
Now, why?
You'll find out.
I don't want to now. What are you talking about? I don't want to find out. What does that mean?
And that eventually. So let's start out. So I got this page pulled up. We've got the campaign that you guys are all a part of. We've got MMA, Mixed Magical Martial Arts. I kind of got it. There's 3 M's. Yeah, I'll get it eventually. Let's talk about this one first. What do we have going on here? What part of the Destiny New York world are we looking at here?
All right, so Mixed Magical Martial Arts is about a regular, standard, run-of-the-mill UFC fighter. She is amazing at what she does, but she is disgraced. She is kicked out of the league because she was taught in a magical school. She has no abilities herself, but because she had a prophecy made about her, even though it was mundane, she was taught in a magical school. So the league uses this as a way to kind of oust her and accuse her of using magic to win. So she is left with no choice but to join an underground fight club of actual magic users, wizards, magicians, mages, psychics, seers, all of that. So she has to see if she can battle against them, even though she has no actual powers herself.
And this is Bailey.
Yes, that is in Destiny New York. Her role is Logan's ex. Logan is the lead character of that series. Bailey was in the first 3 volumes as Logan's ex. They grew up together. They were childhood sweethearts, and they fell out of love. And they're, you might even say, beefing a little bit. So Bailey has been a bit of an antagonist in Destiny New York. So this is her own story, and we start her. In this, she's a bit of an underdog, you know. She was in Destiny New York. She was on top of the game, you know. She was successful in what she does. She was, you know, living the life. But now, when we meet up with her again in Mixed Magical Martial Arts, she's lost everything. You know, she's at her lowest point, and she has to build herself back up and see if, through fighting in this league, she can find herself once again.
Is this like taking place at the same time as the story that we know of Destiny New York, pre, post?
This
a little bit all over.
This is what I would say is happening like now in the Destiny universe. Like it's definitely after we last saw Bailey. When we saw her in Volume 3, she was still she was engaged. She was still working in her league. This is at least post Volume 4, but unlike other series, you know, Smoke Weeds to the Future and Cherry Gilbert Necromancer firmly fit between 4 and 5 because of things that are referenced in the main title. This could be anytime after 3 and on.
Okay.
Very cool.
I am still doing my reading through. Where am I at? 3. So I kind of started doing the single issue reading.
Yeah.
Through it, and then I got all of the stuff when I back.
Yeah, so now it's finding where I left off.
5, Smoke Weed, See the Future.
Right.
And now I'm like, I want to just binge through the rest of this. But I'm trying to like not, you know, like enjoy. I gotta enjoy the journey. It's massive world. I don't want to put myself in a binge, but
I don't want to read it all and then have nothing left.
it's beautiful. It's the whole world is incredible.
Thank you very much. It's it's been fun, especially of all the cons that I do, Baltimore Comic Con is the most comics focused. So it's very much the con where I see people who have discovered the series through single issues by far the most. Normally at a con, the people who come to me who know my shit already know what I do on Kickstarter. Baltimore, since it's so direct market focused, I had so many people come to me to ask when issues 12 and 13 are coming out, and to be shocked when they see volumes 3, 4, 5, and 4 spin-offs, So that was very fun for me.
It's like when manga finally comes to America and it's like, hey, what are we? Oh, what do you mean there's 30 of them already? What?
Exactly.
Well, and that was how we were first introduced to Destiny New York, was through the single issues. And when we started talking with you, and we, right before then, you were running, I think Smokeweed See the Future was going on right then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
the book is so pretty. Oh my God. It came out so good.
Oh, thank you so much. That's
it's beautiful. I'm so glad I got the bougie cover.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that one
awesome.
Smokeweed See the Future. I love writing that one. In fact, I owe the artist who's doing volume 2 a chapter tonight. So volume 2 is going to go on Kickstarter on December 6th.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta grab it.
Feels like there is always a new part of the Destiny New York world happening. Yeah.
Oh, that Ben staying on, Josh.
I love this cover.
That cover is so sick.
I love the spot treatment on it. It's just so pretty.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Jen is such an absolute master. I can't show it because it's not complete, and I don't want to show one of her works in progress. But we're keeping her on to do covers through the entire series, and I know what her number 2 cover is now. Oh my God! And it's continuing the same motif as volume 1. The concept is, the first volume. The concept is a bit of an American Beauty homage. The volume 2 is sort of like a Garden of Eden, Garden of Weeds.
Is this a reference to the show Weeds by any chance?
No, but I see what you're getting at now. That was,
it just popped into my mind when you were saying that. I was like, wait.
Yeah, the image just came to me too. But yeah, that was strictly American Beauty. But yeah, I
very well could be Weeds homaging American Beauty as well.
Yeah,
let's show off her cover for MMMA here. Another beautiful cover.
Jen is the beast. She's doing this program with me called Jen's Gems, where she's doing a collection of, I believe it's 6 covers or maybe 5. It started with Prison Witch, so she did a variant for Prison Witch, for Cheeky, Destiny 6, Mixed Magical Martial Arts, and 2 more. The next one is Smokeweed, and the 6th one is going to be Steamy, which is the next book in the adult series. Thirsty, Cheeky, and Steamy.
Okay, very nice. So, with you already building so much of this world, what brought you to working with Bob and Kevin on this particular chapter of the world?
What brought me to work with them? It was a couple of things. One, going on their show, Word Bros. You can see them now. They're beautiful men. I mean, you can't see Kevin, but you can imagine what he looks like.
We imagine.
Yeah.
The disembodied voice is beautiful.
Yeah, he has things in common with his little avatar here. He is a white guy, like the guy there. Is he small? No, he's tallish. I mean, everyone's tall to me.
His head floats above his body
a bit. Yeah, he has the South Park Canadian thing going on. But no, all right. So on Word Bros, they were cool and funny. I read Metal Shark Bro, and I was amazed by 2 things: the action and the comedy. Incredible. I was like, oh wow, they're actually not only great guys, but also amazing writers who have the sensibilities that I value. In comics, some of the humor that I see going on, it isn't always my style. But Bob and Kevin,
feels forced a lot.
Yeah, it feels forced.
Or a very cookie cutter joke.
Yes, there's like jokes that you can be like, oh, you watch a lot of TikTok and you pull that from a meme. You know, like that's a reference to a meme. You're doing a pun. It's always these puns. But Bob and Kevin had this actual, character-based, situation-based humor, and I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. And I had them in mind to work with. I asked them if they would want to eventually, and we did. And it's been a cool collaboration. I've done some co-writing before. I wrote with Vita Ayala on Cherry Gilbert Necromancer. I wrote with a bunch of, I used to do the last chapter of Destiny New York is always bonus short stories. And I used to do these, character-based collaborations with other writers that I've now switched to doing just me so I can have them kind of allude to what's going on in the next volume. But I've done a lot of co-writing, so I was ready for it. And we did it in a sort of like, TV writer's room style where we developed the outline together. I finalized the outline. Bob and Kevin broke it down into a full script, and then I do my like writer showrunner pass. So instead of like sitting down and like co-writing and picking scenes, like we just like had each did our own full take on it, and yeah, it's been fun. It's been really fun.
So we should expect the quippiness of this book to be a little bit higher quippiness.
A little more sarcasm.
So I did I went through Metal Shark Bros again recently, and just like you were saying, the situational humor and like quips from Metal Shark Bro are just fantastic, well-placed humor.
I feel like it's very rare for me to actually laugh, like out loud laugh at a comic book.
Yeah. Oh, me
anymore.
too. Yeah, that's 100% what drew me to these fine gentlemen in row 2 over here.
Well, it's writing comedy in comics is difficult because you feel like you have to try to. So you're serving so many masters. There are people that really dig puns. There are people that want to see the old school, like the old school 3-panel gags. So you kind of have to. One review we read for Metal Shark Bro Volume 2. They were a charming British couple who had like a YouTube show, and the British fella said he felt like he was being assaulted by jokes because there's just the jokes are just nonstop because not every joke is going to hit for every person. So we try to put as many jokes on the page as possible because.
But that's like a comedy routine, like stand up or something. Like that.
Almost.
Yeah, it was almost a bit. Yeah, it was almost a bit for us. I would say it was almost like writing bits. We would go back over them a few times to make sure we weren't like there weren't jokes that punched down or anything, and then we'd make sure that all the humor was like in good like timing or with what was going on the page. So we would look at that too. Sometimes we would rewrite it based on what was happening on the page. So stuff like that, and then working with Pat, like he said, it was like a writer's room. It was basically. Bob and I would come up with stuff and we'd be like, so we want to do this, and then like not knowing all of the Destiny, like it was having the showrunner go, no, because this is coming up down the road and I like what you have here, so just take this and do this and then bring it back.
That's actually really cool.
Well, writing Destiny New York in that universe was, I don't want to say it was daunting, but it was because there's so much stuff. And there's so many characters and all the characters, because Pat is such a talented guy, all of the characters kind of have their own voices and their own tones and tenors about their narratives. And so with us, it was very much like, okay, we have this little sliver. Let's build on that so we can kind of do what we need to do to tell our story, as opposed to being kind of constantly drugged back in and have somebody go, well, so-and-so wouldn't say this because of when I read Volume 2, Issue 3. So it was nice to kind of have a freedom of our own to do what we wanted to do, but still play in the Destiny New York sandbox, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Use a character who's exists, but you don't really know anything about other than like 2 facts.
Yeah, so it was really fun to kind of flesh a lot of that out, and a lot of that fleshing out was just all of us kind of sitting on a Zoom call, just talking. What about this? What do you think about this? How about this beat? What do you like this or this? And just kind of almost choosing your own adventure for this character and her adversaries. Like in the book MMMA, she falls in. She doesn't kind of fall in love, but there's an interest for her. A guy named Birdo, and with Birdo, it was very much like, well, we have to make sure that this will be somebody she would be into.
Right.
So so there was a lot of kind of twisting and turning and playing with dialogue because he had to be cute, but still kind of dangerous in a way, but still kind of keep a boyish charm, which was for me very easy to write because that's just who I am. So I just put a lot of my own natural thoughts and feelings like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna do that, and it worked out beautifully. Pat and Kevin, I would say, right? Like, awesome.
100%. This one also feels very much like its own thing, where, not to say that the others weren't, but for example, Gangsta Ass Barista, the setting is a coffee shop, which is already a major setting in Destiny, New York. Both the lead characters, Trinity and Augustine, are major characters in Destiny, New York. In Cherry Gilbert Necromancer, it follows two characters from Destiny, New York. It really could be, that whole graphic novel could be an arc running through a regular volume. Smoke Weed See the Future, Taylor is a very established character, and we know her very well by the time that series starts. Whereas Bailey, we've only seen her through Logan's perspective. So now Bob and Kevin and I are really giving her own vibe here, her own cast. She has her own supporting cast that has never appeared at all in the books before.
Yeah, and I think
it's a spin-off show.
Well, I'm sorry, and for me, I think that was again some of the fun to it because we weren't beholden to the Destiny canon. This was something that we could kind of do 100% on our own in our own little world. So it was a lot of fun to kind of play with and world build,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pat also asked us to do like playing around. So it was basically like, here's the scenes that she's in, but don't worry about because none of these characters are appearing in this. I think maybe one or two are in there to keep the continuity of it. But don't be beholden to continuity was basically Pat's first note. Like, don't worry about this stuff. Just make me like Bailey. Make me care about Bailey.
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm also doing my showrunner's pass at the end, my thought was just go off. If there's anything that's going to contradict ideas or things that are coming in the series, I'll just go over it myself too and just have that not do it, and tweak it to do that. It was very collaborative from the start. It was just feeling it out and finding a new vibe, because it's I read the letter proof recently and gave my notes and stuff, and it's a totally different vibe. Because Gangsta Ass Barista is a comedy. Smoke Weed See the Future has major elements of comedy, but this is comedy action in a way that we haven't seen before. There's a lot more straight action, and we're seeing a lot of magic use that we haven't in the series up until now. In the main Destiny New York series, Arvid is the most magic we've seen. He's a mage, and he is a very powerful one. In this, we're seeing a lot more street level grounded mages and see what that magic looks like, which has been really fun and new for me and for the title, for the universe.
And for us, helping craft this magic, it was a very daunting task because we didn't want to overstep our boundaries. So we were constantly kind of going back to Pat for secondary characters, because again, this is a fighting league. It's almost got like a Game of Death vibe to it, right? So there's a tournament. There's a fighting tournament where you have like a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar style kind of bad guy from Game of Death at the end who Bailey is going to get to. But during the tournament, it was very much like, is this too much magic? Are we showing too much here? Because I've read enough of Destiny New York, but I don't know how the magic works in the universe. So it's like, is this too much? Are we doing too? And Pat was very cool with it. Like, nah, dude, like this works for me. And if it was too much, he'd be like, we need to dial this back a little bit. So it was a lot of fun because we were just asking Pat, like, hey, what about this? What about this? And he was just very much like, yes, no, yes. And we just kind of went from there. And don't let Pat make it seem like Pat made our writing very hip and very cool. Like, because Pat's got a really good cadence to his writing. He's got a very, I don't want to say a young man's mouth. He's got a young man's vocabulary.
It's not that. It's just very distinct.
Pat's got a really good sense of dialogue. So Pat went in and padded up some of our dialogue, and it was really great. Like, I was really impressed with it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been very fun, and I do I love dialogue. Shout out to Armin Nassim. He has his own Kickstarter going on right now. It's called Lunar Smoke. Issue 2 is out on Kickstarter. There you go, dude.
Got issue 1. Haven't read it yet.
This impressive bastard Armin. He's been doing a Kickstarter per month. This insane lunatic. It's so sick.
Great to meet you at Baltimore.
So happy to see his rise.
Do you sleep?
But yeah, fuck Armin. Back to me.
Have you slept in the past few months?
I think this is the answer right here. He sold his soul to the devil.
I think he did. I think he did.
Believable.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Damn,
but
that is impressive as hell.
I love dialogue. I love chewing over what characters are gonna say. In lettering proofs, I often change everything of my own shit too, and I have. It's been cool hearing these new voices. Like we have a brand new cast of characters. It isn't just Berto. It's the character on that Gensei Nange cover, Noelle. I had an idea of what she would sound like, but just seeing her come together through the drafts, through Bob and Kevin's first draft, through the final draft that's now in letters, to how Patrick drew her. How he drew her changed and added a bit of like a kind of like manipulative edge to the character that I didn't see when we were writing her, that now does read and is influencing how I'm seeing her in the larger story too. And it does make me want to, reference them and bring them back in the main Destiny New York title. When things happen in the spin-off titles, it opens them up to be included in the world. Like we in Gangsta Ass Barista, I needed to show that Trinity was having a hard time making ends meet, so I introduced Landlord Marv, who knocks on her door, catches her eating this rotisserie chicken, makes fun of her a little bit, and asks for the rent. Now, Landlord Marv, I've loved to bring him into the title, into the main series, Destiny New York. He's appeared now in volumes 4 and 6, and I love that kind of stuff. I kind of like retroactively bringing these spin-off characters into Destiny New York has been fun, exciting, and it keeps things fresh for me because it's been 6 years now, and it's going to be at least 5 more years. Yeah.
You going on saga numbers?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm coming for Brian K. Vaughan's head, son.
I do want to give a shout out. The first issue of this coming out from Black Mask is on FOC this Monday.
That's right.
So be sure to get your orders in for that, because new cover from Connor Hughes, right?
Yo, Connor Hughes of White Ash fame. He's doing covers for every single issue. They look absolutely amazing. I love his work. We have White Ash artist Connor Hughes and also the colorist Finn Cram on the cover. Nice. And man, oh man, do they look great.
See, I had that open somewhere. While we talk, I'm going to find it and pull that up because it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
It went somewhere.
Yeah, the team on White Ash is just out of this world, dude. The artist, the colorist, and Connor even does letters on that.
The writer's okay too.
Nah.
Charlie,
my boy Charlie Stickney. Charlie's the best.
Yeah, Charlie's wonderful.
I think there was a couple different covers Black Mask was putting out.
I believe that. All right, there's at least that. There's a cover by the interior artist Renzo Rodriguez. There is an Eliza Romboli cover. There is a foil version of this Connor, and I believe the convention version of the cover that is just line art. And there could be also one with
Foil.
oh yeah, that's the foil. Yeah. So the foil is virgin, has no logo. And
Liza on ball.
I'm not sure if they'll show it, but there's at least the convention cover with no colors.
There's a 1 in 25.
Oh god damn, there's a lot.
Went
Or
ham.
50, which is okay.
Yeah, we're going hard.
Okay, it's the graphic novel cover.
Yes.
Nice. 1 in 50, just the lines.
Yes. So maybe the convention version is the one with just the lines and no logo. Maybe I'm not sure.
Okay. We just lost him to the cabin.
The Wi-Fi said no.
That's all right. He'll be back.
Oh hey, shout to Lewis in the comments. A
Yeah.
talented gentleman.
Oh yeah, they did like you walk around Baltimore and you come across a couple of his statues at the con.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah,
God, I'm
we'll,
so sad I wasn't there this year.
I will also say that working with Pat was fun because we brought a different perspective to Bailey. Like when I read Bailey's scenes, I was like, I don't see how people can see and see. So this is a topic for discussion because all of us have read Pat's work, so maybe it makes him slightly uncomfortable to hear us talk about it like this, or maybe he'll enjoy
Bring it. Yeah, I love it.
I think that Bailey is not the bad guy in all those scenes. So and that's one thing I said to him when I was like, well, I see it like she was a little narcissistic. Logan was in some of those situations, so I can see where Bailey's coming from when she has that conversation or the coffee shop or whatever. I'm like, she is a little narcissistic, and Bailey's just telling her look, that's how it is. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is how it was for our relationship. And Pat thought that was very amusing that I brought that perspective to it.
I love it. Yeah, no,
right
I love that. You know, I want everyone who I'm involved with on any title to have their own perspective. Like, for example, there's something that Logan does at the end of Volume 2, and Lilith makes the choice as well. And I was thinking that the audience was fully going to be thinking one thing, and Shannon, the editor of the book, thought the exact opposite. And that made me so happy. And her favorite character is Arvid, who can be seen as a villain, but she just 100% thinks no. And I love that. You know, I love people who have these different perspectives on the characters that we're working with, just because it adds depth, you know. I
was just gonna say, I think it makes it that much more tangible to see how different people, you know, someone views you one way, you view yourself in your own story another.
Oh, 100%. And
it just makes it so much more physically there.
Yeah, and I
really
want those situations. Yeah, I want those situations where it divides people, where people have different takes. I mean, I remember watching TV with my dad, and he would sometimes go, what an asshole about a character. And I was like, he's the asshole? What about this motherfucker? You know? And
yeah,
having those debates just shows investment. It shows nuance in fiction that people could just take such dramatically different things. And I really crave that.
Well, and bringing in people who have that outside perspective to write those characters and add more facets to them, I think definitely strengthens just the character and the world itself.
Absolutely.
Any plans to do more team ups with other writers for different series coming up?
I've talked to Charlie Stickney about something. It's got to figure out if it's right.
Okay.
At this point, a lot of the spin-offs that I have in mind are characters that are less tied to the main series. Like, I have one that I'm going to do for sure, that I'm going to do on my own. It's called Red Reapers, and it's about the motorcycle gang that Trinity was part of, but it isn't focusing on her. It's just totally different characters. I have one. Yeah, it's going to be cool. That I have a cover for too already. I'm not sure when it's going to be out, but I have the characters. They look awesome. I cannot wait. And I have one that I can't say what it is yet, but I'm working on it. It's about characters that we've never seen in the main title, but firmly set in the universe. That I'll eventually bring them in, but I'm doing their own thing first.
Okay.
That idea I love too. And we have small characters too. Like I'll say this: who I was talking to Charlie about is this character Inez, and Inez is an ex of Lilith. She's a very small character. She's been in 3 scenes total. She was in volume 1. She gave Lilith this picture of her sister to show that she was spying on her. In volume
Okay.
In volume 2, she gets Lilith and Logan these press passes to get into Bailey's fight, and all we know about her is that she is a private investigator in a world where magic is real. And I'm like, that's already the plot. Like that is already.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you could write so much about that isn't in any way, shape, or form related to the main story. Like it's just her running her private investigation stuff.
100%.
That one, that X, also.
Bring it a bit closer.
This is the backstories in volume 1.
She is in that, but she isn't on one of those pages. I believe she's on the next page or the page before. She's the one. She has like longer, curly brown hair.
Maybe she was the page before.
She could be the page before, yeah. Boom,
Yes.
there she is. That's Inez.
Yep.
Yeah, so she has a dynamic look. She has her plot is built into who she is and what she does as a character in the context of the world. And I just gotta see if Charlie wants to. And
in the background here.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
No pressure that you're talking about it on a podcast right now. No pressure at all, Charlie. No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But we've spoken about it before. It's just a matter of seeing what lines up. But that's the character too. There's very little about her, so no matter what happens, I'll do something with her. But we shall see.
Yeah. No, that was something when we talked.
You go.
Go ahead. Oh,
I was gonna say, who's the character that like you want to write a story about and you've never written a story about, and it's just sitting in the back of your mind, like I really want to experience this character, but you haven't decided like what to do yet.
All right, so this is kind of a cop out because I have written a lot of him, but there's something that Anthony is going to go through in volume. God, I think volume 7 or 8. I think 8, and I'm eager to write the next phase of his journey.
Okay.
I think about it all the time. I have such a good story for him there. And as far as a spinoff, though, there's a spinoff that I'm working on that I'm very eager to write. It's slightly an Arvid focused story, but it's an Arvid story and a character that you guys haven't met yet. I believe he's introduced in volume 5. His name is Sonny Ferretti, and he works in the gang under Arvid, and he is a very neurotic character, and writing him and writing how his neuroses informs his decisions as a bit of a lower level crime boss has been very, very fun for me. And it's a totally different vibe than any of the other characters. It would be a more kind of like serious, brooding book, and I'm talking about Black Mass doing that one as singles first, so just gotta see how that works out.
Okay.
Kind of flipping it on that one.
Yeah.
Nice. What I was gonna say before was I remember last year when we were talking, the one thing that you were saying as you were building Destiny New York, you were always looking at those characters in the background and saying, "Man, I wonder what they're doing."
Oh yeah.
Let me go write a story about them. Or now down the line in the future, just as you've been talking about all of this and the process that you, Bob, and Kevin went through to build up this story, it almost sounds like you're like the Kevin Feige here, masterminding a universe. Do you ever see yourself like stepping back and getting more like writing teams, like to take over parts of the universe?
No.
You are okay.
Especially because I am very big on endings.
Okay.
When Destiny New York ends, everything tied to it will end as well. I want it, the main story has always been about Logan and about how you live your life when people try to tell your story for you. and I want to bring the story of that life to its natural conclusion. And I never, I have an artful end in mind for it that I think will be meaningful beyond just Logan's story. And I wouldn't want to, like, for example, Smoke We See the Future. Taylor and Logan are tied in some ways. They exist in the same universe. And I don't want people to keep reading Smoke We See the Future to like check in for clues on what happened in a different book. I really want to make every ending on each title a statement.
Sense.
Yeah. And I like to me, the ending can make or break a series. Like I watched
Oh yeah.
Bloodline, for example. Bloodline was a series on Netflix. Great first season.
Oh
second
yeah,
season.
season 3
And
was so disappointing.
it was a dramatically horrible season, and I read why. And
so not good.
they found out that they were canceled, and the showrunners, instead of like finding a new way to tie things up, they put their plan for seasons 3 through 5 into the last
In one season.
4 episodes, and it's like, bro, like it was actively terrible, and it makes me think that I really believe in a good solid ending. So it's always going to be me. I could create a franchise that I pass off to other writers, but this
got
one
heartbroken again. Thanks for that.
Yeah, bad, real bad.
It almost like sounds like you were saying it for Logan herself is it if you took a step back from writing it, you'd be trying to live your life with other people telling your story.
Oh damn, getting poetic about it. Yeah. See, I for example, on Zenescope's Robin Hood, I wrote the title from issue 1 to what was the end of the ongoing, but was actually my 39th issue. I'm just now catching up to where that was on the main Destiny New York title. And it was emotional for me to have other people write it, but the idea was always that I was going to have my run. This is just my title, and I like to work with other people on the spin-offs sometimes, but it's very much my self-expression, and it's I definitely couldn't step back for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, and you can write it for as long as you want to.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
And explore literally whatever and whoever you want.
That's true. I have my ending volume number in mind, but I've also had ideas that have come up that I'm like, that might expand us a little bit, So we shall see.
Are we looking at like 16?
So far, oh man, I hate to even say it, but my thought is 11 probably.
Okay.
But they're big volumes. So I think 11, but I'm not gonna just because the number
11 and some spin-offs.
Yeah, exactly. The number 11.
It's about witches. 13.
No. 13. I was about to say like 11 is a number that's important to me, so I kind of want to hit it, but I wouldn't make the story shorter in order to hit 11. But I would make it longer to not end on 13. 13 is bad mojo for me.
13 is one of my lucky numbers. Gotta break the badness of 13.
Breakthrough, man. Breakthrough, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
Let's go over to talking about the other campaign we got going on right now. We've got Get Lich or Die Trying.
Hell yeah.
With these awesome guys down on the bottom row here, Kevin and Bob.
I love that title.
Absolutely.
I think it's phenomenal. Every time I see it, I just smile a little.
Fans of D&D are gonna love this one.
Love it.
What's your guys' pitch on what Get Lich or Die Trying is about?
Bob, you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Get Lich or Die Trying is a simple tale. It's an underdog tale. You've got these creatures that live in this cave with this ancient power, this great and powerful lich. And unfortunately, because of that, these stupid human adventurers always come through, tramping through their communities. These creatures decide that they can't destroy all of humanity. They can't kill all of them. So they'll kill the lich to save their community. So it's a lot of fun. It's kind of taking the idea of like Tolkien and looking at it through the eyes of the orcs almost. We're kind of flipping the perspective here. So we wanted to tell the story of these characters that are kind of living their lives, and their lives are just being disrupted almost daily, just because. It's like a metaphor, man. Like something you can't control is kind of dominating your existence, so you rebel against it, which is kind of fun.
Right.
You know? Yeah,
I like that.
it's a cool little tale.
Yeah. In the previews pages for it, I already can see that same humor popping up in here, which is awesome to see that now applied to this type of world and this setting. I can only imagine potential jokes that can come up in a D&D world. So excited to see some of that humor in this comic.
Yeah, it's a different kind of comedy, I think, to some extent, because there's so many tropes we can kind of play with. I mean, everybody who's played Dungeons and Dragons, they kind of understand the way the game is played. So this is a way for us to kind of poke fun at some of that and some of the storytelling, and it's just an exciting little. Yeah, the gelatinous cube. The idea of the gelatinous cube being like
a Zamboni almost.
Yeah, basically, it's like a Zamboni cleaning up all the gunk. It's a really fun idea.
It's a Zamboni that you have to feed.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like, I'm really excited about the world. I'm really excited about the characters. We've got our little distinct our little people doing their thing, having their fun. The main character is a guy named Brew, and he's a goblin who lives in this cave, and he's tired of it. And he's not too tough, but he's pretty bright. Like, he's got a sharp little mind, and he kind of comes up with this idea and puts this team together. And they have mysterious and fun hijinks. It's really cool. I'm really excited about it.
It's like if you took Critical Role, mixed it with Horrible Bosses and Ocean's 11, but there's only 4.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
They're not hyping anything. They want to do something that is pretty impossible for characters of their level, if you know D&D, to do. Like a goblin, a bugbear, a kobold, and a hobgoblin walk into a dungeon and try and kill a lich.
It would be like me waking up and saying, you know what, man, I'm fucking tired of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. I'm going to go take him down, essentially. That's what this is.
Good luck with that.
You're fighting against insurmountable odds, but, you have a will, you have a way, and you're going to try your best. And that's kind of what these dudes are up against. Yeah. We've got a fun team. We've got Nin the Bugbear, who's kind of she's more literate. She's smart. She's kind of book smart, but she's also pretty tough. We've got Drob, who is like a little kobold, who's kind of like Scrappy Doo, who's short but fiery. There's the mysterious hobgoblin that shows up a little bit later in some of the pages, and he's the only real warrior of the group. But they get him to agree to it, and they're just pulling people from their community to save their community. Like it's got a lot of heart. It's an underdog tale. We're really excited about how it's coming together.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Nicky Noons is the artist. He's fantastic. He's so talented and so good. We met him last year at C2E2, and we were just blown away by his artwork. Yeah, we were like, dude, let's work on a book together. And so this thing came together pretty quickly, and here we are.
It's awesome.
Bob and Kevin, can I ask, what came first, the concept or the title?
The concept.
Yo,
the title.
I was really hoping you would say the title.
Because, I mean, that's actually a bit more impressive, though, because, like, to look back and find a title that good and that specific of a joke is really sick.
The title was all Kevin's idea.
Well, Kevin, kudos to you, motherfucker. That's
10
awesome.
out of 10, my man.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's a fantastic title.
We had a name for it, and we usually have like project names we have like an idea pile in Google Docs that we share.
Okay.
And so they have names there, so we know what it is that we're talking about when we're talking about writing this or that. So this was actually called something like Brew's Big Plan or something like that.
Okay.
Which is not as catchy of a name. It doesn't grab you.
It sure isn't. I mean, no,
it doesn't tell you what the story is,
right?
Like in one sentence. So like one thing about Metal Shark Bro that got us a lot of attention And another thing about Dust Pirates is everything you need to know about the book is in the title. So Dust Pirate is in the title. This is about two guys who are actual seafaring pirates who go to another world that is not what you think it is, because you've been led to believe through all these stories that the world is this way because they're seafaring myths about Atlantis, and that's not what Atlantis is. This is what Atlantis is, full of dust. So, Metal Shark Pro, it tells you what it is right before you even pick it. If you think about picking up off the shelf, you're like, oh, Metal Shark Pro, I know what that is. Like, And
I feel like. Oh, please continue.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I think this came up with Pat before. With some of the titles that you have now, you've changed it so that the title tells you what the world's about, what the story's about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally. Like, so the more we got into it, and the more we started writing these characters, the more we changed their names, because I think Brew had a different name at the beginning. The only one that stayed constant was Bob was running a D&D game on Saturdays, and that's where Drob comes from. One of the PCs befriended a kobold who was actually smarter than him, and was his constant companion, and was actually making better life choices and decisions than the cleric was that he befriended. So we thought that was funny, so we should put Drob in the book. So we should do something with Drob, but make him different. Make him be the actual cleric character instead, because Drob was like, no, you can't go fight them. They'll kill you like that. He was very cautious. He's a kobold. They're not very tough in D&D. Their strength is usually in numbers. So we wanted Drob to be kind of tough and big for a kobold, built really big for a kobold. So he's actually really strong. He's as strong or almost as strong as Nin, the bugbear. Because he talks about it because he lifts weights. He lifts bone weight. There's a weight set that Nikki's going to draw for him. That he's talking about lifting, bro. Do you even lift, bro? And stuff like that. So
do you even lift, bro?
He's supposed to be our weird Jersey Shore hobgoblin.
Love it.
And then,
that is phenomenal.
I just keep.
It just makes me want to read it more, honestly.
I keep staring at this homage.
So you like the homage cover that is by Lane Lloyd, who's awesome, and we love Lane.
Yeah.
So we got lucky, and we've been wanting to do something with Lane for a little while now. So Lane was we were like, hey, do you want to do a variant cover? Because Pat actually said we needed to do a homage cover. That's all Pat. You can ask Pat about that. Pat, you can't call it this and not give me an homage.
Yeah. No,
thank you for the flowers, man. Yeah. I saw the covers and I was like, bro, the Get Rich or Die Trying album cover is the most iconic album cover of the past 20 years. Let's for sure do this. I want to see you do it. And they did it, and it came out great. It's the vibe is great. I love the little riff on the parental advisory sticker. It's just so sick. It's so sick.
And then we just got the artwork for this last week, I believe, but we didn't drop it till this week. If you look in there is a cover, Walter's cover. Oh no, it's underneath the update.
Oh.
You drop the art.
It's at the very top.
And you can see Walter Osley's cover for it, which is fucking amazing too.
No.
Yeah, if you go to there it is right there.
Yep, so underneath there.
That's
Davy Jones.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's-
it's so sick. Dude,
that's the print.
dude, someone right now go to the story, edit your Kickstarter story, and put that as the first image you see. That shit is so sick. It's so sick.
There it is.
Wait, oh,
There's
here's the
Walter's
cover C.
right there.
Yep, there it is.
Nice.
Boom. Beautiful. It's
Man, that print's awesome too.
so it is there. You said it was under the updates. That's so
Yeah, it's
sick.
at the very top. Yeah, it's very good.
I heard updates and top.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. You said
updates.
Yeah.
button at the top.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
Nice.
Walter's our boy. We love Walter so much. His art is so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you guys are so you're so tied to Walter because of the Metal Shark Bro campaigns. People really almost expect Walter art when they see you guys. And
No, you're right. 100%.
Yeah, and
so,
this totally delivers. It's so
I hit him up and I was like, dude, because Walter's kind of stepped away from comics, which is unfortunate because he's so good, but he just gets so kind of every project he does, he puts every ounce of his being into it. And sometimes an artist only has so much. So he needs time to refill, and it's been taking him longer to kind of refill his tank. But when we were launching this thing, we wanted to do some variants. And so the first person I reached out to was Walter. And I was like, dude, I know you're not doing comics, but if you feel like doing it, then we'd love you to do a cover for us. And he's like, the fact that you asked me if I felt like doing it, like you didn't say like, hey, will you? It's like, hey man, if you want to do it, cool. If not, no big deal. I don't care. Because Walter, I mean, he's more of a friend to us at this point than a collaborator. And like, I don't want to put a friend in a weird spot. So I was like, if you feel like it, cool.
Dress them.
Yeah. And he's like, cool. Yeah, man, of course. So we launched the campaign without the art, but I promised the art was coming, and man, did it come. And it looks, it looks great. Looks great.
It's gorgeous.
It really is. Like, he's just so talented. And what's more important is he's just a better guy. Like, he's a better person than he is an artist. Like, he's just a very low key, down to earth, just fun person to talk to. Man, yeah, he's a good dude. And that's the best part about comics. It's just the people you meet along the way. Sometimes the process is frustrating. The business side of it stinks. But it's the relationships you make. I feel like the relationship Kevin and I has, it's like a brotherhood. With Walter, it's very similar. Pat and Charlie are friends and peers, but also in a weird way, like mentors. Like when we have questions about Kickstarter, because they're so good at running these campaigns, we go to them to see like, hey, is this a good idea? Does this work? Does that work? So, I mean, it's nice that you can kind of build a community of people that you trust and that you like, so that's what we've been doing. And it's been working out really well for us. And we're really excited about this book. It's done well on Kickstarter. We're excited about it. We've got 14 days left. We've got some stretch goals in mind. We're pretty excited. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
It looks like a ton of fun.
It does.
Well, I mean, that's what we're going for, man. Like, there are plenty of talented people out there that can write really great, serious comics. Kevin and I, we want to. It's unfortunate to some extent because our lane is kind of silly. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say it, but that's our lane. Like, our lane is kind of silly and fun.
But like we said earlier, not everybody knows how to write. Yeah, there's a lot of really dark, really sad, really like fucked up things have happened to people. Comics, there's not the most like.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like
comedy.
Humor comics don't do well in the direct market. Like that's what it is. Like that's the world we live in. Like they're like horror sells well.
Think about like comic strips when you think humor for comics.
Yeah, people don't read humor comics. Like we have a really good buddy, Kyle Starks, who's a really great humor writer. And he's gotten out of humor because people have told him like, dude, humor doesn't sell. Like you can be hilarious and you can do great books, but like nobody's going to read it because that's just the American market. And that's kind of the world we live in. But Kevin and I are thick-headed and kind of dumb. And we want to tell the stories we want to tell. So we're going to keep doing it. We're going to use Kickstarter to build our audience and tell the stories that we want to tell. Right? Shirtless son.
I mean,
Yep, I'm a thickhead. My son said it.
Shout out to Charlie, who's in the chat right now, and also has
get out of here.
has the game issues 1 through 3 on Kickstarter right now as well.
Oh, I just lost.
And every time I hear the name of that book, I always wonder if he's trying to make people lose the game. But anyways, Pat also right now, like we were talking about before, if I can reach it back here.
What we got?
This just released this week, issue 3.
That's right.
For Azza the Barbed.
Hey,
did I say it right? I still said it wrong. Azza.
Boom.
Azza. Okay.
As.
Yeah.
As a barbarian.
I think we chanted enough and kicked Bob out of the stream accidentally. I think that was in response to losing the game for spoilers. But But yes, incredible story coming out right now from Scout Comics with Rio Burton.
Rio
on
Burton,
artwork.
yes. Rio Burton, great artist, great friend. I was just talking to her today about, just comics, connecting with people in comics, and wrapping this one up. We have ideas for the future for this universe and other titles as well. Rio is an awesome collaborator. Great sense of, I love artists. I was just talking this today about Patrick Mulholland, who's the artist on Mixed Magical Martial Arts. Rio too has a great sense of blending manga sensibilities and American comics. That blend was discouraged by art teachers for so long, and they were wrong. I mean,
there's a reason the manga industry is bigger than any other industry in publishing.
It's facts. That is the wave. Artists like Rio and Patrick are leading the wave. I would say that the same is true of Connor. Connor Hughes on White Ash definitely has some manga sensibilities that we are now seeing become more popular in comics. Same is true of Eliza Ramboli on Destiny New York. And now Matteo Leone on Destiny New York, same shit. That's very much what I look for in comics artists. And Rio is crushing it on that title. That cover, which features as his sister Ali, beautiful cover, and also one of my favorites, the variant cover. I believe it's the 1 in 10 incentive is a homage cover to the father-son Kamehameha from Goku and Gohan in Dragon Ball Z. Cover, sick. Comics covers are so big on paying tribute to past comics covers. You've seen so many of those covers based on the action.
How many times have we seen ASM 300?
Yep, all the time.
I do not need to see another ASM 300 homage ever.
I immediately don't buy a book if I see an ASM 300 homage for it.
Yeah, you see the same shit over and over. So I was so thrilled to find an iconic image that really vibes with what we're doing, to have Rio do a powerful homage here that speaks to character and also just a sick image.
That's awesome. It's fantastic.
Boom.
Yeah. 5-issue series?
Yeah, 5-issue for the first arc. I mean, fuck it. I shouldn't say it, but I don't hold back anymore. What we're talking about, because I mean, who the fuck is going to tell me no? What we're talking about doing is not doing an Azza the Barbed 2, but following it up as a sequel with a different title, featuring the same continuing story, but with a different focus. Like, Azza the Barbed is volume 1. We're thinking Cardinal the Cursed would be volume 2, and then Ali, whatever the fuck we call her, would be volume 3. And it would all continue the same story and complete an overall arc, while each telling a different section of this war of demon gods versus mortals.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that.
I like that. I'm assuming each volume would follow a different main character.
Yes, and they would all still have the same cast, and Azza and Ali would still be in the Cardinal book as a major focus, but it would be a different lead for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I like that.
One thing about the Shandverse that I thought was really cool is that it reminded me of like old school Buffy, wherein like all the characters have an arc, and Pat already kind of knows where he wants them to end up. And just seeing that play out in his head when he talks about them is really fun. Like, it's just fun because we haven't written anything really long form, Bob and I. Everything we do is either short stories or we do like one contained graphic novel. And even we didn't even think we were going to come back to Metal Shark Bro, but then we were like, oh, well, we have an idea. So if we don't have an idea for it, we don't do it. We had an idea, obviously, for more Dust Pirates at the end of Dust Pirates, but that won't happen unless we can get it like picked up or published somewhere. Then we'll actually be able to do more. But like watching Pat work on stuff like that was really like interesting and gave us a nice perspective as writers. It's like, oh, wow, this is also important because, like, he has ideas for all of these characters in his book.
Yeah,
I would say too, like back like manga, it's kind of reminds me a lot of like Hunter x Hunter, where every single character has their own major arc in the series, and then they're done. That's it, and everyone's still in it, but it's very clearly this character's problems being fleshed out.
Yes, that I love, and that too. That's you know, you mentioned Hunter x Hunter. It's both manga sensibility and also just like television, like modern television sensibility, where comics, you know, we've seen publishers get very scared of an issue number 6. Oh no, you know, and you know, I get it.
So many 5-issue arcs.
Yeah, the direct market, it's tough. It's a bitch. It's hard to work within. But I've always loved long form. You know, my favorite runs are those long creator-owned arcs. Preacher, Why the Last Man, Saga. We see the cast of all those stories have their own storylines. In Preacher, I mean, I think of Cassidy first. You know, I think of in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Dragon Ball as a full franchise, of course, Goku is the main character, has been in it since the very start. When I think of character arcs, I think of Vegeta and Piccolo, you know, like they're just these transformative arcs. And I want that for my shit too. I want the supporting cast to not feel like just a supporting cast, but to be developed.
Stuff like My Hero Academia. Same thing. The supporting casts have more fans than the main character.
100%. That's you know, Kickstarter is great for that. You know, I remember I pitched Destiny New York around. At first, I submitted to Oni, to IDW, and the furthest that it got was IDW. And we were talking about what it would be and how many issues it would go, but it ended up not going because they had a different series that they thought was similar. And my reaction to that, and absolutely no hate to IDW, I would do any other book with them for sure. I've worked with them before; they're great. But my thought was, oh, there's nothing like this. You know, they one, don't understand what this is going to be, so there's nothing like this book. And two, I mean, I can't do 5 issues. Like from the start, it was going to be at least 20. And I was like, nah, I can't do that. And these publishers aren't going to really fuck with me if I at my level of my career back then had a pitch for a 20 issue series, it just wouldn't happen. So I was like, all right, so I take it to Kickstarter. And if it succeeds, no matter if it just gets by or if it does amazing, I'm going to make it ongoing right away. I'm going to do whatever I can do to continue this. So the goal was 20. We hit like 21, and as soon as we funded, I was like, boom, this is ongoing. I'm doing it fucking forever. And thank God we've been able to do it so far. You know, it's that long form stuff is really important to me.
And it's just an incredible.
I prefer long form, honestly. I like having something to commit to for a hot minute, you know, something that you can actually get to know the characters and the world instead of just being like, all right, here's your short story, bye.
Yeah,
100%. And that's I do struggle sometimes because I have ideas for other new stuff. I mean, I'm launching, I think, 3 new number 1s next year, and I'm doing them as singles. And the pace of single issues on Kickstarter is slow as shit. It's very slow. So I'm trying it though. I'm trying it. I really do want to just not do it and go straight to graphic novel, but it's better for the collectible audience. You know, it's better. It's a better financial decision because the single issues fund themselves pretty quickly, whereas the graphic novels, I find myself really like catching up because that's a lot of pages to pay for, and I always treat the artists well and make sure that they're paid first and foremost before. Like I don't like take a rate for myself. There are books that I profit on, but largely I am just catching up because I kickstart these huge graphic novels. So I'm going to try single issues and see how we do there next year. But I'm also very impatient because I do really want long
I
form.
hate waiting a month for another issue.
Oh, it's painful. It's painful. It's painful. That's why, like, we have Charlie in the comments. Charlie is who I look to as someone who writes a very satisfying single issue. Charlie gives these little thick baddies with White Ash. And bro, I mean, just to read a single issue of White Ash does not feel like a single issue. It's substantial. It's a premium product. It's thick. And that's who I look toward as like, oh, if when I do singles, I want to go full Stickney, you know?
Perfect. I don't want to keep you guys too late. I know East Coast, it's getting past 10.
Yeah, Bob is already gone.
I know Bob had to go enjoy his vacation.
Video
right
games
now.
to play.
But so let's we'll wrap things up here. Tell everyone where to find you, follow along with your different projects that are going on, and what else, any other shout outs you want to put out to your work right now.
Kevin,
start with Kevin.
Oh, my mic was on. I thought you were gonna go first, Pat. Right now we're doing Get Lich or Die Trying, in case you didn't know, with the Kickstarter. We talked about it. So you can go to www.getlichcomic.
Oh, the audio just went out. But I also did drop that link into the chat, the long form link.
Me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Kevin_Cuffe. And then you can find us together on a podcast at Word Bros Podcast. And please listen to the show. Like, we have a Substack, sign up. We do a podcast just like this where we talk about things with creators.
I think was it Caleb
Palmquest, the
Palmquest, that was the recent one.
Palmquest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just saw that pop up in my inbox yesterday, maybe today, sometimes.
We had a great time talking to Caleb. Caleb's great, and it was fun to have him on.
Hell yeah.
And we try and do stuff like that once a week. So
awesome.
Yeah, please listen to the podcast.
Very exciting.
We try to do once a week here too, but sometimes we just take a week or two off.
Sometimes I forget that weeks happen.
Yep.
Sometimes I take a vacation and then 3 days later Jeremy does.
Yeah. Or sometimes I get back from Baltimore and Anthony Stokes had on a Sunday, a random bonus interview.
My guy, Stokes is the man. He was part of my Demon Squad in Baltimore.
Yeah. I heard some late night adventures were had.
Shenanigans indeed, devilry, pretty much.
Matt and Noah were out with you guys one of those nights too.
Yeah, we saw them at the damn at the restaurant. Yeah.
I ran into them there. They invited me to like join them, and then I was tired. I was ready to go to sleep. I woke up at like 3 a.m. to fly to Baltimore. I was like, you guys have fun. And then I hear about the night. And I was like, I should have stayed out.
It was a good one. Friday was great. Saturday was a bit of a bust, but Friday was great. Aww. Saturday was just trying to have fun, but Friday was insane. Yeah.
Where can people find you and any other projects going on you want to shout out?
All right, a couple of things. Yeah, find me at Pat Shand. Find my company at Space Between on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Even I'm sticking it out. I see everyone talking about leaving as if.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, because here's the thing: like we're acting.
He backtracked on that verification real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I might do that shit. We act like people who ran it before Elon weren't evil. They were evil too. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? So, Twitter, TikTok, all that. Kickstarter right now, I have Mixed Magical Martial Arts. That's at tinyurl.com/MMMA comic. That's up there. I'm also, I have Azza the Barbed coming out monthly through Scout Comics. Oh, yeah. Gangsta Ass Barista single issues coming out through Black Mask starting the end of this month, maybe early next month. I don't know when that FOC hits. I know
FOC Monday, so like 3 or 4 weeks out from there. If Diamond works correctly.
That's the big F, yeah, for sure. And finally, I'm running up an imprint at Black Mask Studios announced this week. I'm helping Black Mask put together some Kickstarters to extend some of their titles, to do sequels, in one shots. First up is Patrick Killen's "There's Nothing There" Kickstarter now that was funded today. It is a one-shot erotic comic that continues his and Maria Lovett's "There's Nothing There" universe. Great title. After that, I haven't said this anywhere else, but I'll say it here. Matt Pizzola won't find out, so boom. Snap Flesh Hustle, my series at Black Mask, will return for a one-shot next year in that imprint. And more Black Mask titles will return through the Kickstarter one-shots.
Very nice.
So, yeah, that's me. That's what I'm doing.
Nonstop.
Oh, yeah, nonstop for sure. I'm a super gremlin.
Keep him busy, but that's good.
And releasing cards all year long.
Yeah, we got currently the Baltimore card is still up. The next card is going to be a Gangsta Ass Barista #1 pre-release celebration card. That's going to launch on my Etsy store, which is going to be on my Twitter and in my newsletter at tinyletter.com/patchand. That's going to come out, I believe, top of next week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be
Hell yeah.
picking that
Keep
up
an
to
eye
add
out
to
for
the
that.
collection.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Awesome. I linked, I believe I've got your everyone's Twitter and Instagram, including the Space Between Entertainment Instagram and Twitter as well. Links to the Kickstarters down below. Links to all of our stuff below all that stuff. Lots of links. Just go check all of them.
Click all the buttons.
There's cool stuff down there. So
Open all
hit
the
those buttons.
windows.
Yeah, get like 20 tabs open like I've got going up here, and then another.
Make
20
your
over
computer
here.
run slow.
Yeah. And next week we have, I think we have 7 creators on for the Holiday
I'm
Spirit.
struggling with 4 of us on here.
And we'll be okay. We've got this.
It's fine. There shouldn't be a hurricane coming up the East Coast this time next week.
Yeah, that won't be happening then. But the Holiday Spirits anthology campaign we'll have Jerome, Travis, Brian Hawkins, Don Wynn, Etienne. I can never say Etienne's last name, so I'm not going to try to butcher it right now. I'm going to ask him how to say it before we go live. But yeah, we'll have all of them, and Kevin's in here again.
Nice. Look at this.
I'm seeing double right now.
Double cuff.
But
That's where you open on 2 pages.
thank you both, and Bob,
us.
for coming on. It was awesome to see you guys in Baltimore.
Thanks for hanging, everyone.
Thanks to everyone in the chat.
Hopefully I'll get to see you guys. Are you going to be doing potentially any Galaxy Cons this year?
I would like to. I don't know when and where they
Like
are, but what?
Raleigh, Richmond, and then there's one in like Ohio, but the Raleigh and the Richmond are the ones that I go to.
I would do them. If you message me information about when they are, I would definitely check in.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. Thank you very much.
Because I know if I don't go to Baltimore, I miss you guys.
Yeah, Baltimore is so
Like I did
fun.
this year.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
so fun,
would
but
be
I
cool
could
to
not
stay
justify
there.
8 hours of driving for one day.
I hear you. It's a very comics focused show, which is sick. So yeah, but hope to see you both soon.
Absolutely, and thanks,
Hell
thank you, Charlie, for being in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for hanging
everyone,
out.
go check out the game from Charlie on Kickstarter right now as well.
Yes, please do. That's also
And
drawn
I'm
by
sure-
Connor. You know, same as White Ash. It's beautiful stuff.
Hell
Beautiful.
yeah.
Have a
And
nice
I'm sure
night,
Pat
everybody.
will have you back for the next Smoke Weed See the Future issue.
Yeah, that's December 6th. I'm so down. I'll talk to you guys.
Got my
again.
little cheat sheet.
Hey,
the
you
last
do.
one.
You do. Thank you for that.
I
Thank you.
got that
It's a
somewhere.
little art sneak. Where is it? Art sneak.
There we go. December 6th. Let's go.
Nice.
I'm hyped. I
Very
think she might be my favorite character.
Might be mine too, actually.
10 out of 10. I like her.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. Thanks everyone watching, and have a nice night.
See ya.